Fear of flying. 6 powerful tips for overcoming flight anxiety. For a lot of people, flying isn't just stressful, it's straight up terrifying. You're strapped into a metal tube, thousands of feet in the air, with no control. The brain does what the brain does best. It whispers the worst-case scenario. What if the engine fails? What if the plane drops out of the sky? What if this turbulence means we're going down?
We're gonna die!
Hey, easy, it's just a little bump, you're okay.
Turbulence happens all the time. This is mild. Deep breath. We'll be on the ground before you know it.
Sound familiar? Every bump feels like a free fall. Every ding sounds like bad news. And you're convinced the pilot's up front flipping through the manual like it's their first day on the job. The good news? Those fears don't match reality. Planes are built to handle way more than what you'll ever feel on board. And turbulence, the thing most people hate, is annoying, not dangerous. But fear doesn't listen to stats, right? Fear needs tricks, proof, and strategies that actually work in the moment. So in this video, I'm breaking down 6 powerful ways to handle flight anxiety. Practical, science-backed, and passenger-tested. So the next time you fly, you'll feel more in control, instead of gripping the armrest for dear life. Tip 1. Numbers don't lie. You know that feeling walking down the jet bridge? Heart pounding, palms sweaty, brain whispering, what if this is it? If you felt that, you're not broken, you're human. Fear of flying is basically your brain's smoke alarm stuck on high alert. The problem is, the facts tell a completely different story.
Oh God, okay, breathe, this is it! I just know this plane's gonna crash today and of course I picked the wrong flight!
Sir, you're okay, just take a deep breath.
I can't!
Be honest, you've had that thought too. Across more than 40 million flights worldwide, there were just 7 fatal accidents. A total of 244 people lost. That's tragic, but put it in perspective. Out of billions of passenger journeys, the fatality risk worked out to about 1 in 16 million. The most recent global data into 2025 shows 296 fatalities. Slightly higher, yes, but still unbelievably rare in a system that moves 5 billion people a year. Here's where the comparison hits home. In the United States alone, about 43,000 people die every year in car crashes. Globally, it's well over 1 million lives lost on the roads every single year. Yet most of us don't think twice about hopping in a car. If you drove to the airport today, that was the riskiest part of your trip, not the plane. And turbulence? That's the big trigger for so many nervous flyers. But turbulence is like potholes in the sky. Inconvenient, not dangerous. Pilots train for it. Planes are built for it, and the numbers back it up. Turbulence doesn't bring planes down. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but my fear doesn't care about math. And that's true. Fear is emotional, not logical. But when your chest tightens at takeoff or the seatbelt sign dings on, here's a little mental hack. Pair your breathing with a stat. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale think, 1 in 16 million. I'm safer than I feel. It won't erase the anxiety, but it anchors you. Fear is loud, but facts are steady. And when your brain tries to shout worst-case scenarios, you've got numbers on your side. Next up, let's move from logic to comfort. Because knowing the stats is one thing, but calming your body is where real relief kicks in. Tip 2. Calm your body first, your mind will follow. You can know all the stats in the world, but when your chest tightens at takeoff, logic usually packs its bags and leaves. That's exactly what so many fearful flyers say. I've flown more times than I can count, but every single time I'm still scared. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're human.
I can't do this! I can't breathe! This is too much!
Sound familiar? That reaction is your body on autopilot. Here's the trick. Your brain listens to your body. If your body is panicking, your mind assumes danger. But if you calm your body first, your brain starts to follow. Start with patterned breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. A therapist who openly admitted she hates flying said it best. It's not about erasing intrusive thoughts. It's about giving your nervous system something steady to hold on to. Grounding helps too. Notice 3 things you see, 2 you can touch, and 1 you can hear. It's a simple way to keep your mind anchored in the present instead of spiraling into what-ifs. Some travelers even describe it as giving their brain a checklist to focus on, rather than the fear. And when turbulence hits, that's where a physical trick comes in. Tighten your seatbelt so it feels snug. Then press your feet firmly into the floor. By bracing yourself against the belt, your body shifts less with each bump, which means your brain interprets the motion as far less threatening. And here's another confidence booster. Just look at the flight attendants. Even during heavy turbulence, they go about their jobs calmly. If it's rough enough that they have to sit down, you'll often notice they're chatting casually or even smiling at one another. That's because to them, turbulence is routine. And if you can hear from the cockpit, pilots will sometimes reassure passengers directly. We'll be through this patch soon. That simple reminder, seeing calm faces and hearing steady voices, can anchor your own mindset in the middle of the bumps. Another tool? Reframe the sensation. Some anxious flyers train themselves to reinterpret the adrenaline as excitement rather than fear. Your body's reaction is almost identical. It's just your mind's label that changes. For example, instead of thinking, "Oh no, my heart's racing, something must be wrong," try telling yourself, "My body's gearing up for an adventure." One nervous traveler said they started doing this at takeoff. At first, the engine's roaring made them panic, but when they practiced reframing it as, "This is the thrill of the ride," that moment went from dread to something closer to awe. Mindfulness techniques can deepen this even more. Something as simple as silently repeating a phrase, "This plane is safe, I am safe," interrupts the loop of catastrophic thoughts. Some people even use what's called the release and replace method. Acknowledge the fear, "I feel anxious right now," and then gently replace it with a truth. "But this is just turbulence, and the plane is built for it." It sounds simple, but that tiny shift pulls you out of the spiral. And here's a comforting fact worth holding on to. Most turbulence only lasts a few seconds to a minute. It feels endless because anxiety stretches time in your head. Pair that reminder with your breath. Count slowly to 10 as you breathe, and by the time you finish, chances are the worst of the bump has already passed. So every time you feel that bump, breathe, ground, and repeat. "I'm safer than I feel," because fear may be loud, but mindfulness keeps you steady. Calming your body is powerful, but there's another way to stack the odds in your favor before the plane even leaves the ground. Because sometimes it's not about what you do in the moment, it's about where you plant yourself for the ride. Tip 3. Seat choice matters. Here's the thing about turbulence. It feels scary, but it isn't dangerous. Pilots train for it. Planes are built for it. And while it might feel like the bottom just dropped out, what you're really experiencing is the aircraft riding through shifting air currents. Think of it as potholes in the sky. Annoying, sometimes jarring, but not a threat to the plane itself.
Oh my God! Hold on! Why does it feel like we're on a roller coaster back here?
Just turbulence, just turbulence.
That was a drop.
Keep your belts tight. Come on, come on.
Oh no, here we go again.
And that reaction makes sense. The back of the plane exaggerates every bump. Up front, closer to the cockpit, the ride feels steadier. And if you sit over the wings, you're right at the plane's center of lift, where movement is naturally minimized. Those two spots, front or wings, are where nervous flyers often feel the most relief. And if you're someone who deals with vertigo or dizziness, the seat choice becomes even more important. A window seat over the wings gives your eyes a fixed reference point. Watching the wing move against the sky helps orient your brain, reducing that spinning, off-balance feeling. If looking out makes you queasy, you can close your eyes instead. But for many, the wing is like an anchor that keeps the motion from feeling overwhelming. So don't just grab the cheapest seat and hope for the best. For an anxious flyer, where you sit can literally change the whole experience. Pay the small upgrade, get a spot in the front or over the wings, and give yourself the gift of a calmer ride. And remember, the anxiety often starts before you even sit down. For many nervous travelers, check-in and security can feel like the first nightmare, with the flight itself just adding to it. That's why I made another video, Traveling with Anxiety: How to Handle Airports Without Panic. In it, I walk you through every stage, from the night before, to check-in, to getting through security, so you know exactly what's coming and how to handle it calmly. If airports themselves are a big trigger for you, watching that video will give you the same kind of practical, step-by-step strategies we're covering here, but focused entirely on the ground side of your journey. I'll link it at the end of this video so you can watch it next. Next up, seat choice sets the stage, but it's only half the battle. If your body's wired on caffeine, or every sound makes you jump, the anxiety creeps right back in. That's why tip 4 is all about controlling what you hear, drink, and do once you're in the air. Also, if this video's giving you some relief, tap like. It's free, and it helps me keep making more videos like this. Subscribe for the next one. Tip 4. Master your senses and fuel. Airplanes are noisy, dry, and full of little triggers your body can misinterpret as danger. Get on top of those, and you'll feel more in control. First, the noise. Planes creak, hum, and groan in ways that can make an anxious flyer's imagination run wild. Ever feel like this guy?
Wait, what was that noise? Did you hear that? Are we gonna crash?
That's where noise-canceling headphones are a game changer. They cut out the constant roar of the engines and mask the strange clicks and whirs that might otherwise set your nerves on edge. Instead, you get to choose what fills your head, whether it's calming music, a podcast, or that show you've been saving for the trip. Passengers in the comments rave about this one, and for good reason. When the plane goes quiet in your ears, your mind does too. Now, hydration. The air in a cabin is drier than most deserts. That dryness ramps up anxiety without you even realizing it. Dizziness, racing heartbeat, headaches, all things your brain can mislabel as panic instead of just dehydration. One traveler said they never board without an electrolyte tablet in their bag, and they swear it keeps their nerves and energy steady. Water is your best friend up there, way more than coffee or wine. And that leads to the drinks. It's tempting to grab a big coffee at the gate or sip on a glass of wine to take the edge off. We've all sat near this person.
Okay, coffee for the jitters, wine for the fear. I'm basically a flying genius.
But caffeine makes your heart pound harder, and alcohol actually spikes, then crashes your mood, leaving you more anxious than before. Combine that with dehydration, and suddenly your body feels like it's in danger even when it's not. If you want something comforting, sure, enjoy it in moderation, but don't rely on it to calm your nerves. The bottom line, give your body what it needs: quiet, water, balance, and it won't trip you up mid-flight, because when your body is calm, your mind can follow. Tip 5. Don't fly alone. Build your support system. Even the strongest distractions and best seat choices can't always quiet the little voice in your head that says, "What if?" That's why having support, whether it's someone next to you or someone in uniform, can make all the difference. If you're able to travel with a friend or family member, don't keep your fear a secret. Be honest about what you're feeling. Many anxious flyers admit they lean on their travel buddy when turbulence hits. Maybe it's a squeeze of the hand. Maybe it's a whispered, "It's okay. This is normal." Or sometimes, a little too much.
If we go down, just know I always loved you.
Okay, hey, it's all right. We're fine. People are looking.
I can't help it.
Just breathe, okay? We're gonna land.
Just knowing someone else is calm right beside you can stop your mind from spiraling. But what if you're flying solo? You're still not on your own. Flight attendants are trained to spot nervous flyers, and they actually prefer when you tell them ahead of time. We've all wanted to say this.
Hi, quick heads up. I'll probably cry during turbulence, so good luck with that.
Thanks for letting me know. We'll take good care of you.
Great. Appreciate it.
A quick word as you board, "I get nervous flying." Just letting you know is enough. From there, they'll check in on you or simply offer reassurance at the right moment. Sometimes, just a smile and a calm presence is all it takes to help you settle. Support doesn't mean weakness. It means backup. Air travel may be one of the safest things you'll ever do, but you don't have to white-knuckle your way through it. Whether it's a trusted companion, a kind crew member, or both, having people in your corner can turn a nerve-wracking flight into something manageable. Tip 6. Exposure builds confidence. The more you fly, the easier it gets. Almost every nervous flyer who shares their story says the same thing. Avoiding flights only makes the fear worse, but flying more often slowly takes the edge off. The brain can't unlearn a fear unless you give it proof, and proof only comes from experience. Some people start small, with a short 1-hour hop to a nearby city. The next time, maybe it's a 2-hour trip, then 3. Step by step, they notice their body doesn't go into full panic mode at takeoff anymore because it's no longer new or unpredictable. One traveler admitted they were terrified before their very first long-haul flight. Sweaty palms, heart racing, couldn't even finish breakfast.
If we survive this, I'm never flying again!
What? Hey, it's just a little bumpy. Breathe.
But here's the twist. By the time they took the return flight just a week later, that same passenger realized the fear had already dropped in half. Why? Because their brain finally had proof it was safe. Others find that the more they surround themselves with normal flying, like watching cockpit YouTube channels or listening to pilot Q&As, the less mysterious it all feels. And the key here is to stick with reassuring content, not crash documentaries or disaster movies. Every time you give your brain safe, ordinary exposure to aviation, you chip away at the fear. Think of it like stacking evidence. I flew and landed safely once, then again, and again. Each flight adds another layer of proof. Over time, that pile grows taller than the fear, and the anxiety begins to loosen its grip. The hardest part is always the first flight, but once you take it, repetition itself becomes a kind of therapy.